Thank you, Sam, and thanks for getting everyone's attention. I know it's kind of hard in the afternoon. This is interesting for me, and I'm glad to be here. As Sam said, she had a little bit about Prince George's County. If you don't know it, we're east of Washington, D.C. In fact, you know, I normally tease the mayor when I'm in the district, and I tell her, you know, she sometimes calls us Ward 9, and I said, well, the reality is all of the District of Columbia is Prince George's County. So Virginia took its part of D.C. back long ago. So if we really want it, you're really in Prince George's County west. So thank you for being in Prince George's County. We really appreciate it. But we are the second largest jurisdiction in state of Maryland. We have almost 1 million people, and we're doing a lot of good things. It was not that way, and I think we'll get to the important part of our discussion today. In the very beginning of my administration, if you know any of the history of Prince George's County, we were under like a little cloud, you know, sort of like the FBI was investigating every part of our government. You know, it was a little, you know, businesses didn't want to come to the county. Ethics was a big issue. Crime was an issue. And so when we came in, we had to face, you know, with the fact of how do you build confidence back into what I believed at the time, but certainly wasn't shown, was the economic engine of the Washington region, and I dare say the state of Maryland, which is what I used to say when I first came in. And everybody would be an audience like you, and they would just look and say, oh, poor little guy. You know, he really believes that. Oh, he's cute. Oh, that's so nice. Because the reality was that people did not want to do business in the county. But what I knew, and probably what many of you know, as you look for opportunities around the nation and around the region, it really is about opportunities. Not the things that have already been done or are happening in present, but what could happen in the future. So if you looked at Prince George's County and you compared it to either the District of Columbia, Montgomery County, and Northern Virginia, you saw things booming in those other areas. You didn't see it in the county. But here you had a population of almost 1 million people, 500 square miles, and 15 underdeveloped metro sites right next to the nation's capital, Rome. You also had an economy that had turned down, and people were looking to the only stable thing, which was shaky in itself, and that's federal government. The only people who can legally print money, as my good friend Wayne Curry, the former county executive, used to say. If you took all of those things in consideration and you looked at the fact that we had not done any of the things that the other surrounding jurisdiction could do, you said, well, that's the greatest opportunity in the world. Not just for government, but for the business sector. If they could just get out of their way. The biggest thing we had coming in, one of the biggest things, was ethics reform. Businesses said, we don't want to do business in Prince George's County because they shake you down. You can't get a fair shake. True or perception, it didn't matter, it was stopping. So one of the first things we did was put in major ethics reform in the county. Had never been done before by a jurisdiction on its own. I'd served 8 years in the legislature. Normally it's us coming in and telling the locality that you need to make these reforms. We actually pushed them. Now, I can't say that every member of my council actually liked me after I put it in there, but you needed to send a signal that we were serious about regulating ourselves. So that's the first thing, you get that out the way. The second thing was business said, no, you know, Prince George's County is shaky, you know, all that stuff. You know, we're not going to invest, you know, the economy's bad, you know, money's short. So in a downturn economy with a $75 million budget deficit, we came up with the bright idea that we're going to take $50 million and bet on ourselves. We're going to take $50 million out of our reserves and say, if you're willing to come in here, we're willing to partner with you because we believe the future is right here. Now that sounded crazy. Crazy enough for people to actually take a look at us, which is really all I wanted. The $50 million was to get you to say, wow, all these things are along here, you can invest in these. And so we got that through the council, which also didn't make friends. And then public safety, crime's high, homicides are up. People feel unsafe. Businesses don't want to invest in it. And when we came into office, sure enough, homicides had gone up. So they said, see, I told you, brand new county executive, the guy's never managed anything more than a 3-person law firm. He really doesn't know his way around. It's going to be shaky. But we got together. We had these, and the chief of police and the state's attorney and I go back and forth with each other. The chief says it was, I say it was 14 homicides in 14 days. The state's attorney says it was 13 homicides in 13 days. And the chief says it was 12 homicides in 12 days. Either way, it was too many. And it was scaring people off. So we came together and we put together our crime briefing. So every Monday we got together and we put a strategy, not just to solve those crimes that were going on in the county at the time, but how do you lay a long-term strategy for reducing it so that it then becomes safe for businesses to invest in. Fast forward to where we are now. In the first 4 years of the administration, crime dropped by 40% in Prince George's County. In the first 4 years of the administration, we're going to invest somewhere between $6 to $7 billion worth of economic development going on in Prince George's County. If you look at our education system, which was another thing we took on, we're starting to see improvements there. Healthcare, which had been a joke in the county. Now we're not only building a hospital, but we're building a regional medical facility. Every part of our 500 square miles, we're seeing development. But like every other place, it's not like, Prince George's County. I still dealt with a $115 million budget deficit this past year. I have a tax cap, so I can't raise property taxes. And so money is tight. And so that's where we came up with this innovative program, since we have to do stormwater remediation. We came up with something that probably would have been unheard of in this area, and especially for Prince George's County, and that is our P3 project. The public-private partnership, we use that as a way of trying to say, okay, we've got to do this. It's a federal mandate. How do we do it? And that's the project that we came up with, which is innovative. The reason that we look and spend so much time on that is that if that goes right, we can look at others. The next one coming along, where we just put, I believe it's $120 million into the Purple Line. So the Purple Line, which is a P2, P3, I get the numbers mixed up. We just put $120 million of our money into that project, which once again, because we believe if it works the way that we think it's going to work, it's going to open up other opportunities for us. And so what are those other opportunities in Prince George's County? So we got the Purple Line, we've got stormwater remediation, we got that in stormwater, but we're building a brand new regional medical center. Not just a hospital, but a regional medical center that is going to the southern region of Maryland. But that location, which is going to be at Largo Metro Station in Prince George's County, which is really going to be the catalyst for revitalizing the whole Largo area. So if you're not from the Washington area and you come back here in 3 years, in addition to people saying, well, you should go see what they're doing up in, Bethesda or Arlington or Alexandria, they're going to say, you know what, go over to Largo. They've got all this really nice development going on, because it's going to be a shaping of mixed-use projects and things of that nature that are going there. But we need to build a hospital. So we're going to need money for that. And we're going to look for innovative ways of doing that project. We're going after, if you're in this area, we're going after the federal FBI. They're going to relocate the FBI from headquarters from Washington, D.C. to somewhere, either in Maryland or in Virginia, Two of the sites they're looking at for the consolidated office is in Prince George's County. One is at Greenbelt Metro Station and one is at Landover. The building of that is another opportunity for us to look at how we actually can get that done. We've got 5 metro sites that we're focusing on for this administration to see it done. And when we say 5 metro sites, we really mean redevelopment, mixed use around those metro sites. In addition to the Largo one, which we're going to anchor with a $7 million hospital, we're also doing Branch Avenue Metro Station, which is right near Joint Base Andrews, which we think will explode and boom and give us an opportunity. But that's going to be one we're looking at innovative ways. Naylor Road, which is a metro system, a large one, with a lot of vacant area that's right next to the District of Columbia, where they're trying to figure out what they're going to do in that eastern part of the District of Columbia. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do across the lines. That's going to provide opportunities. You look at the one at the Green Line, which is now the hub coming into DC, at Prince George's Plaza, or the mall at Prince George's as they call it now. That whole area right there provides opportunity for us to look at. So when we talk about the P3 projects and public buildings, we're doing a new office building. So we're actually moving a significant amount of our government office from Upper Marlboro to the Largo area to build a critical mass. That's going to require that we look at financing for these public buildings. So we believe, and probably one of the reasons I was asked to come today, is as you look at the Washington region for opportunities for the P3s, Prince George's County is going to be one of those areas that has a significant amount of opportunities where this can play, and especially if the ones that we're currently working on continue the way that they are and they show dividends. We would be very interested in having conversations about that. But we think it's wide open. We think I truly believe this, and it's showing that if you look at the fastest economically growing area in the Washington region and in the state of Maryland, it's Prince George's County. And it's going to be that way probably for the next 15 years, just because, one, we have space, land mass, we have empty buildings, we have metro stops. We're going to focus in this administration on 5, but there are 15 out there that have the similar opportunities for us to develop. So we think there are great opportunities in the county. We would love to have you take a look at the county. We'd love to talk to you, especially our Deputy County Administrator for Finance, Tom Himmler, who doesn't like to spend our money. He's always looking for partnerships. But we think it's as I said, it's a great opportunity, and we'd love to talk to you about it. Thank you very much.